Hey guys, I'm Elyse. I failed my Nclex twice and I passed on my third attempt and it was a gut punch. So I'm gonna tell you how I reset and maybe it'll help you. So for my first attempt, I failed miserably, but you know what? I had to really look myself in the mirror and I did it pretty quick. And I was like, I deserved to fail. I didn't do much. I didn't study that well. I didn't have an organized system at all. I wasn't using a program exactly or following a schedule. I didn't have structure. I deserved to fail. My second attempt, I was using a program and I was not happy with it at all. It was very wordy. Yeah, I was still unorganized. I wasn't following a schedule. I was all over the place. I also didn't have structure for myself in my personal life. Outside of just studying, there was no structure. I was just all over the place. A little bit of this topic here, a little bit of this topic there. Maybe I'll do some review on it, but I didn't go down a list of all the things I need to go over and check things off when I was secure in that area. And again, I didn't have much of a routine in my personal life. Like I would just wake up when I wake up, or just, hang out with friends, and yeah, I was all over the place. So that fail, I still put effort in, so I still was very hurt that I didn't pass. I was still a little surprised, but I also told myself if I don't pass, I'm going to sign up for boot camp and I'm going to do their sure pass and I'm going to do it to a T. I'm going to utilize every single thing they have to offer. I am going to follow their schedule. I am not going to miss anything, and I did just that. I also, just a little bit personal of my situation, I relocated, so I needed to clear my space. So when my second attempt, rewind a little bit, for my second attempt, I got a storage unit and I cleared my space. So that was just, my situation. So I think something that can apply to everybody, make sure you have a clear space so you can think, you can process, and you can feel good being in your space, being in your study area. You don't want to have to continuously move things around to start studying. You want to be able to just sit down and study. So anyway, third attempt, space is clear. I continued to organize as well. But I got it to a point where I could just sit down and study and my mind is clear. I could wake up, look around at my space and it's clear. I'm good. I don't wake up looking at a cluttered space. So how I reset after those fails, I immediately wrote a list down of everything that makes me happy. I just brain dumped on my notepad on my phone and just made a list of everything that made me happy. I wrote down, I want to go to the gym. I want to at least go 3 times a week. I want to have a meal plan or just eat healthy. So I'm gonna go grocery shopping. I made a list for that. I love playing with my dog. I like to go on runs with my dog early in the morning. And then I would like to study and then take a break and go hang out with my puppy. If I want to hang out with friends, I like to keep things chill. So like, let's go to a cafe. Love that. I love getting coffee, matcha, pastries, and keeping it very relaxed. Or going to the mall, hitting Sephora, that makes me happy. I also like going for walks, getting some fresh air, laying on the beach, that makes me happy. Just being in nature makes me happy ultimately. And spending time with some family, that also makes me happy. So you get the gist. I wrote down everything that makes me happy, everything that makes me feel relaxed. And then I started to put into a structured schedule of how I'm going to incorporate this in my study schedule. I also had to remind myself that I am 1,000% capable of passing this. I know my information. I know I have anxiety though. And I know that I overthink and I know that I second guess myself. So I also told myself I am going to go over more strategy because the first time I didn't have any strategy. The second time my strategy, I kept overthinking things. And then my third attempt, I was like, okay, I need to ask myself, what is the question asking exactly? Is this going to lead to infection, airway problems, cardiac dysrhythmias? And that strategy actually helped me in the long run tremendously. But yeah, resetting, I pampered myself. I went and got a massage, a pedicure. I got my hair done. I went to the mall that day. I went to Sephora, Lush, Zara, Nordstrom's, and TJ Maxx. I just spent time with myself. The first time I failed, I only took 3 days off. The second time I failed, I took a week off. So take however much time you need, but be realistic, and let's snap ourselves out of it quicker than later. Sooner than later. Let's snap ourselves out of it and just be real with ourselves and do what we have to do to get where we need to go. At the same time though, it's mentally draining, it's emotionally draining. It really is disappointing when you like fail and then you have to pay again, and I get it, but I really had to just say, okay, I'm gonna cry right now. But second attempt, I was crying as I was filling out the application again and paying for it and paying for the test again and all that good jazz. And I feel like ultimately that really helped me. Like, okay, I can sit here and be upset, but how long are you gonna sit in it? But the other side of it, it's also like, you know yourself, take the time that you need. Some people take months off. I didn't want to do that personally, but like, you really do have to trust your gut and trust your body and trust what you know you need for yourself at the end of the day. You can't pour from an empty cup. But I just have to put emphasis on, again, don't take too much time. Start over from square one if you have to. If you're super scrambled, another thing that helps, you're scrambled, you have anxiety, you have ADHD, you're all over the place, start from square one. That's what I did for my third attempt. I told myself, okay, I don't even know what to do. Oh my God, I'm scatterbrained right now. I'm freaking out. Okay, I'm gonna sign up for boot camp and I am going to start from square one. And that calmed me down. And anytime I was studying, another part of that was just remaining low stress. Like, I was chilling. I would plan a good meal for the day. I'd have some fresh juices. I'd have some fruit to snack on. I like trail mix. I like mini charcuterie boards that I'll make for myself. Excuse me. And I'll just cruise through the material calmly, read everything like, you know, in detail, but calmly. Again, I love playing with my puppy. So like, I really was just hanging out that second attempt that week. Oh, I was just hanging out. I linked up with some friends, went to dinner, grabbed drinks. I was kicking it. I did not want to think about anything. I cried. I took my exam. The next day around 4 p.m. found out I failed. And in that moment, in that moment of me finding out that I failed, crying, boohoo crying, but I was paying for the program, paying for the application, and paid for the test, like, because I need to get this going. Granted, I also was on a deadline in a sense if I wanted to keep my offer for the residency. But I didn't like hearing people tell me, oh, I know someone that took it 8 times. Congrats that they finally passed it, but that's not helping me right now. I don't want to hear that. So get back to yourself, relax. You're going to pass this test. You got through nursing school. You're going to pass this test. Follow a structured plan. Stick to it. Utilize everything. You're going to reset, relax, take a breath. Remind yourself that you really do got this. You know your stuff. You know your stuff. So that's another thing. Look in the mirror and really remind yourself who you are. That was a huge part of my reset too. I don't have anybody that really pushes me or motivates and, you know, reminds me of who I am at the end of the day. It's just me. Clap for yourself. All that studying you did prior to failing still counts. It wasn't a waste. So just remind yourself that and trust your gut on what you need for yourself. I hope this helped a little bit, and go make a list on things that make you happy, okay? And start doing them and reset, because let's get back to it. It's a little easier said than done, but not really once you do it. Not really. Don't dwell in that self-pity. Get up, get to it. You're gonna be a nurse this year. Be very specific too. You're going to be a nurse this year, this month. Be very specific too, and believe it. All right, good luck. Bye.